What's poppin', yo? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're taking a look at another film, series, anime review. No, it's a series review, because we're taking a look at Ted, which is on the best streaming platform that everyone loves and that everyone has, Peacock. I forgot Peacock existed. I swear Peacock has merged with either Paramount Plus or Disney, and Disney's merging with everybody. Disney is buying up all the other streaming services to be the mega streaming service, and it is going to be to a point where it is Amazon, Netflix, and Disney, and they're the only three you need because Disney has the rest of them. They've already teamed up with HBO Max, and they've already teamed up with Peacock, I do believe. But Peacock is the streaming service that brought you Five Nights at Freddy's at the comfort of your own home, and they have now brought you Ted, and they're going to bring you Ted 2, because Ted is going to get a season 2. And no, we're not talking about the movie here, we're talking about the newly sort of 8-episode, 7-episode sort of like special that came onto Peacock, which is basically 7-hour-long episodes of Ted. And let's get into it. So by 1993, Ted was the foul-mouthed teddy bear's moment of fame has passed. He moved back in with his best friend, Iable but awkward 16-year-old John Bennett, who lives in a working-class Boston home with his parents, Matty and Susan, and cousin, Blair. Matty's blustering blue-collar Boston who thinks he's... Oh, I can't even read that, so you have to read it yourself. There is so much to read there. But it is a comedy, and it has one season. It has a 7.9 out of 10 on IMDb, and a 72% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I think that's really harsh, because this series had me laughing. It had me absolutely in stitches. I was giggling, I was laughing, and I'm not sure if that's just because of Ted's humor, or just because of it being so stupid that it's laughable. However, already, straight off the bat, Ted was in like a solid 80-90% of every episode. Exactly. That is way better than the Knuckles series. Knuckles was in 25% of his own show. Ted, he's the main character. He is here all the time. And he looks just as good in CGI quality as he did in the movies. So already it's off to an absolute out-of-the-park start in my book, because the character is here in a show format, and he looks just as good as he did in the movie, and they didn't have to sort of make him disappear for 3 episodes just to make the budget. And it is such a good show because it introduces you to all the things that are core to the Ted movies. Every time you see like a Ted movie, like there is 2 of them by the way, and everything that you see in those movies is referenced back here. All the core details to them smoking, to why they got into smoking, to the corn and why they got into corn, to the sort of Thunder Buddy song. Obviously, fuck you, Thunder, you can suck my dick. That one, that iconic song, came from this show, and you now understand how it came about, what happened with it, and that is such an incredible way of storytelling. However, it is produced and made by Seth MacFarlane, who is voicing Ted, as he did in the 2 other movies, and obviously this does have a Family Guy vibe to it, because every time we go to like a scene change, we have a very similar jingle to a Family Guy jingle, and an outer shot of the house, zooming into one of the rooms, obviously, which we're going to be going into. And I think that's really cool, because it does have, obviously, references to other projects that he made, but it doesn't take away from this project that he's working on right here, right now. Obviously, it is not filled to the brim with references and callbacks to the main show. It does able to stand on its own, but it is also nice to see where these characters came up with some of the things and how they got into some of the things that they do. And each episode does follow a good story, and it doesn't have any cutaway gags like Family Guy. It is a solid story, which feels like every episode could stand on its own as its own sort of movie, which I do like. I like that. Every episode is a nice standalone thing. It doesn't need to be connected to the rest of it, and it works on its own, and that is perfect. That is so good. And there isn't a linear storyline, however, there is some sort of things which follow on from episode to episode, and obviously the first one is how they get into weed. The second one is all about um, adult movies. Number three is like Christmas. Number four is all about Blair and Jesus. And five is about a toy truck. I don't know. There's a lot of shit that goes on. There is a lot of stuff that goes on here. I don't remember every episode off the top of my head. I'm gonna be honest, but it is a good show. I was laughing, I was enjoying it, I was having a good time, and I was watching one of the interviews or one of the promotional sort of interviews for this, where the actor for John was sort of saying how he was trying to sort of do a Mark Wahlberg impression to start with, and how he was trying to be Mark Wahlberg, and then he realized that he could just be his own and make the character his own, and he did. He made the character his own, and I love that. It's not the Mark Wahlberg character. He made this character his own. He isn't playing Mark Wahlberg, he's playing John, and you can see that. And I'm excited to see where this kid goes in the future because he's so good and he's so funny. They all put on this accent and I fucking love it. This weird ass accent. I don't know what it is. But it's just perfect. It fits Ted and it does remind me of the Mark Wahlberg sort of version, and it's just good. It is good TV. It's a good little laugh. It's better than Family Guy. I'm gonna be honest. It's better than Ted 2. And in all honesty, I think it's better than Ted 1. I think it is a much more streamlined story. It is a lot more focused on trying to get across what it wants to get across, and it is a lot funnier. Obviously, they have a lot more time to spread things out and let things bloom, but each joke is contained within an episode. Like, they may use the same joke like 2 to 3 times in one episode, but after that, it's done with. They don't overuse it, and they don't try and dive into it in a couple of other episodes. So, like I said, each episode could be its own standalone thing, and I think that's so good. Having each episode being able to stand on its own like that is a really good sign for a series, and with Seth MacFarlane, you normally get jokes being reused and overused, and it gets boring, especially with Ted 1 and Ted 2. The jokes were very similar. They were overused and used in the second one, very similarly to how they were used in the first one, so it just felt very samey. However, here, every episode is different. It follows a different story, a different idea, and they just roll with it. I don't know if this is a series that could go on for as long as Family Guy has gone on, but it does have a good shot at getting at least 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 seasons out of it, of this young Mark Wahlberg sort of Johnny going into adulthood and seeing where his life gets turned upside down. I'm rooting for this guy. I know how his life turns out after seeing Ted 1 and 2, and I feel absolutely sorry for him because he has so much promise and he looks so like positive in this sort of Ted show, and he has such a bright future, and you know it's coming crashing down, but you don't know how it comes crashing down, and we will probably see that over the course of the next couple of seasons. I feel like this is going to be like a young Sheldon type of situation where we have maybe sort of 5, 6 seasons before they have to call it quits, and I think that's fine. I feel like 5, 6 seasons is a little much, and 3, 4 is more like the perfect amount. So, other than that, I do believe this is a 10 out of 10. I think they got everything right. I think that they had everything that they needed to, and it was funny. That's all it needed to be. It's a comedy show. It has a solid story, and it's funny, and I was laughing, giggling, having an amazing time. I watched this all in one morning. I got up at 8, and I finished it at like 1. I watched all this in a day. It is such a good watch, and I recommend you watch it too. But other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this YouTube video. I'll see you all next one. I hope you all have an excellent day, and goodbye. If you do want me to review any other things like anime, TV shows, or movies, please do let me know which ones down in the comments below, and I'll get on them as soon as possible. But other than that, there is also a little bit more to the price of your life that you can access just by clicking the link in the description to see what everything else that I have to offer as a content creator, from my TikTok to my Instagram to my Twitch to my Cameo, because I have that and you can pay me to say whatever you want. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. I'm out. Bye.